Hi, this is Corella at CorellaFitland.com and welcome network.com, W-Y-L-C-O-M-E, welcomenetwork.com. And we continue looking at the history of the English language, looking at the history of the English language through its vocabulary and through irregular verbs and body vocabulary. But just before we get back into the irregular verbs, one more thing I want to talk about is the special contribution of English, of Norse, Old Norse to English, and that's the SK. The SK words. And let me give you some of them. Now, it's either the SK itself or the sound of SK, which would be SC, such as scalp, scrape, scrub, scare, skate, ski, skid, skill, skin, skip, skirt, skull, and sky. Now, one more thing that I have as far as the English language is concerned, so you can see how important the different Germanic languages have been to the core of the English language. I look at certain core words in the English language, words such as cheese and day and thorough and sun and book and red and sleep and night and snow. All these very, very important core words, words that generally speaking don't have synonyms. And I look at those same words in Frisian, Dutch, German, Swedish, Danish, and Norwegian. And you can see, especially if you don't speak those languages, such as I do not speak those languages, and you can see very clearly how these very, very important core words of the English language come from the Germanic part of English versus much later the Latin and Greek part of English. Okay. So once again, when I'm looking over here, I'm looking at the very thing that I'm telling you that you can download. And also, what I did was I looked at French. But first, before I do that, I want to give you those verbs which enter into the English language after 900, but prior to 1100. So we're talking about those words that entered during the time when the Vikings and Old Norse is beginning to enter into the language, maybe even beginning to be used a little bit. We're talking about the very end of the Old English period and the beginning of the Middle English period. Okay, so let's look at those verbs that entered into the language. You're looking at irregular verbs that entered into the language. So one word would be to begin. All right, to begin, and it's begin, began, begun. Now remember, when I give you those three words, I'm giving you three forms of the verb. I'm giving you a simple form, I'm giving you the past tense form, and I'm giving you the past participle form, okay? And the infinitive would be to begin. Okay. Another word that would be interesting and important, I suppose to a certain extent, the verb to bend. So it would be bend, bent, bent. Okay, another word to bite. Bite, bit, bitten. Bleed, yes, to bleed, because that can be important, especially if you are bleeding, right? So it's bleed, bled, bled. To blow has a lot of different meanings, Some of those meanings are vulgar. And that's all part of the English language. It's to blow, all right, that's infinitive, but it's blow, blue, like the color blue, azul, no, like the color blue, but it's spelled B-L-E-W, blue, and blown. That's the past participle, blown. Okay, the verb to bring, it's bring, brought, brought. Be very careful about the verb to bring and the verb to buy, and their past form and their past participle form. Okay. The verb to build, I guess that's important. Yeah, that's an important verb. Build, built, it ends in T, the past tense form, and built ends in T. Okay, another verb, let me give you to buy. To buy, bought, B-O-U-G-H-T, where to bring is B-R-O-U-G-H-T. And to buy is buy, bought, bought. So it's the past tense, it's the simple form, past tense form, past participle form. To choose, choose, chose, chosen. Okay, and you've heard, I'm pretty sure you've heard of the, the expression the chosen one or the chosen people. Okay, to feed, feed, fed, fed. To feel, important, sentir, I think that's an important verb. Feel, felt, felt. To fight, fight, fought, fought. Now these are verbs that entered into the language after 900, but before 1100. So we're talking about during the time when Old Norse began to enter into the English language. Well, not began, it was entering into the English language. And because England was constantly being invaded and re-invaded by the different Viking groups. And we're talking after, we're talking after the Norman invasion. The invasion by the Duke of Normandy, William the Conqueror, or I've even read some books, William the Bastard. Not bastard in the sense that he's a bad person, but bastard in the sense that his mother and his father, they weren't married. Okay, that's the original meaning of bastard. To fight, fight, fought, fought. To forbid, which is to prohibit, prohibir, to prohibit, forbid, forbidden, forbid, forbidden. It's forbidden. I forbid you to do that. So it's forbid, forbid, forbidden. Sometimes, and you'll find this to be true too, especially when you begin to feel the language, that sometimes in order to remember the past tense, especially the past tense versus the past participle, say a sentence. And then you'll say, oh yeah, that's what it is. I forgot that. Okay. To hit. So it's hit, hit, hit. So the only way you know whether you're talking in the present tense for I, you, we, they, past tense for I, you, we, they, he, she, it, or the past participle for all persons also, is you have to give some indication. So I always hit my little sister. That's the present tense. The car hit me yesterday. That's the past tense. I have hit a tree. Okay. And, well, I guess that's the past participle. Okay. Let me keep going. The verb to keep. Keep, kept, kept. The verb to kneel. Kneel, knelt, knelt. To prove, prove, proved, proven. I tell you that in some years from now, I think prove is going to become a regular verb versus an irregular verb. To put, 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 put. Put is like hit. You're going to have to decide. You're going to have to see the words in the sentence. The only way you can indicate whether it's the present tense without that, if you're talking in the present tense and you're doing he, she, and it, because it would be puts, He puts the book on the table. Okay. I'm running out of time, so let me continue on the next video. So this is Corella Ficklin at CorellaFicklin.com, and welcome WYLCOME, WelcomeNetwork.com.